Okay, we are here. We are on live. Okay. Well, welcome to the Circle Grace One. I'm your host, Chief Principal Teacher and Founder, Bishop Francis E. Revels-Bey. Some of you know me out here as Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey, out here in the city of Albuquerque and broadcasting from the west side of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Well, the Circle Grace One was founded on July 2nd, 1999 AD, under the aegis and the anointing of the Angel of Grace through divine providence. It also gave birth to its very own spiritual and metaphysical institute on February the 7th, 2009, called the Circle of Divine Grace and Remembrance. And of course, I like to link them to both of them together, so I call it the Circle Grace One is the Circle of Divine Grace and Remembrance. And of course, I'm the founder, I'm the bishop, I'm the host, I'm the chief principal teacher of both. Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I've been in this field spiritually and metaphysically for about 40 years, pretty close to it. And it's been a unique journey. Last couple of weeks I was on here, I had a little sinus congestion, but my voice and everything else is quite clear, so I should not be doing any of that hacking, coughing going on during my broadcast. Before we get started, some of the things I want to bring out is connected to a e-newsletter that I have that comes out every month, and I'm in my third or fourth volume of it right now. It is called it's called Two Bears. And Two Bears is a double dose of spiritual remembrance and divine grace. And has some very short articles in there that I write. And one of the topics falls under the infinite power divine grace, and then the grace key of remembrance for the month, which is a specific issue or topic. And then there's a meditation that locks it all in, which is out of my Creative Pathwork Meditation series. So before I get started, what I want to do is just share this very brief affirmative type prayer and decree. Through divine power and by divine grace, may all who watch tonight's program live or come back and watch the pre-recorded format of it in the archives, may you be blessed in one way or another. May something that you hear here manifest with you, materializes in your life. Maybe it's something that you hear, a word or a phrase, or special teaching that comes out tonight for you. What Spirit wants me to do, amen, with that, and so shall it be, is I'm also going to, I'm feeling a need to just bring out certain information at a certain time. So I'm kind of like what we call flying here with the seat of the soul, and the soul is going to bring out some information. It may very well bring something to the forefront. I'm feeling like sometimes I march down the alphabet, march down through the numbers, and release some information. What I want to do is at the same time give a greeting here in the chat room. And I just want to say the greeting of divine grace and remembrance for anybody that pops in. I want to have people be aware of that I'm here just about any time during the day. So if you need to contact me, you could always email me at iam.circleofgrace1@yahoo.com. That's iam.circleofgrace1@yahoo.com. You can also use that same address with gmail.com. That's iam.circleofgrace with the number 1 at the end at gmail.com. And there's a third one, Bishop Francis, BishopFrancis @circleofgrace with the number 1 at the end .net. You could also call through my Skype number, 973-685-5978. That's 973-685-5978. Or my spiritual prayer meditational decree request line, which is 505-717-4722. And that begins to spell out the word grace, Grace. All right, so I want to bring out some information here tonight, and one of the things I want to talk about tree energy. This tree energy is very, very unique. No matter where you are in the world, you could always connect with plants and trees because they're the part of the spirit that embodies the Mother Gaia vibration. So, before we jump to that, what I want to do right now is let you know just a numerical significance. Now, I'm not going to give you the universal year number for today. It's probably more than likely the same because it's 2013 is a 6 and 12 month is a 3, that's a 9, so 9 and 23 is 32 and that gives you a 5. So a universal day number would be a 5. The calendar day 23rd is a 5, and 23 is a number of thrivers, not just people who survive, have difficulties in their lives, but people who manage to be steadfast, pull through, pull up their bootstraps, so to speak, and climb back up the ladder and get out, up onto the top. And so the nature of today, being that this is the 23rd, is a reminder to be able to do that. Now, I won't be here tomorrow because tomorrow will be the 24th of December. And so if you want to know what the 24th is all about, it's about administering to people who need your help, administering to yourself from the divine source. Administering meaning add to, okay, add to. So take the ministry of the word, the ministry of positive thinking, the ministry of positive emotional well-being, the ministry of being more fit when you can, the ministry of speaking positive words to help bring forth a positive manifestation, a positive intention, energy going in the same direction on the same ideal, and ideas will bear fruit in a good way. So what you want to do tomorrow is continue to seed your own consciousness, seed through your prayers, seed through your affirmations, seed through decrees, seed through a good attitude, a positive outlook, seed with a smile on your face, a smile in your heart. So it's all about giving, it's all about sharing. And of course, many times, and I experience this, even with myself as I feel changes flowing through myself, sometimes you're not wanting to do all of that. So what you need to do at that point, when you're not wanting to issue or place energy out into the atmosphere around yourself, what you want to do is take it internally. Go inside. So one of the things is to be able to go inside yourself. All the activity is there. It's internal. All of it. All of our thoughts are on the inside of us. All of our feelings are on the inside of us. Things that we sense comes from the inside, not on the outside. So often we have to go within to clarify who we are, what our thoughts are, what our feelings are, what our perceptions are, what our understandings are, what our dislikes or our likes are, our similarities. And so many times we have to find those particular times in which to go within. And what we're finding out more and more is that you don't even have to pick a specific time. You just go to it. Allow yourself to get inside yourself and really begin to grow deeply inside yourself and pull out our own weeds. Because 9 times out of 10, it's your own weeds that are in the way, that are cluttering up your view, your external view. And so we have to really always spend more time working on ourselves. Sometimes we want to feel like we need to be alone. We need to isolate ourselves from others. Sometimes when you're around loved ones, sometimes you need to inform them that you're going to spend a little quiet time throughout the day or at night at a certain time for yourself. This way people don't get offended. Sometimes people assume right off the bat you're like withdrawing, that you don't want to communicate with them, you don't want to engage in them. It doesn't mean that. It just means that you know that you need to work more on you, so you need to stay more on the inside. Okay, sometimes I have a tendency, my mind is all over the place, and other times I may look like my mind is all over the place when people look in my eyes, but really I'm really deep on the inside of me. And that's what we have to learn how to do, how to go on to the inside. So we look at that number 23 today, okay, which adds and reduces to a 5. the calendar day. And it so happens that the universal day is a 32. It's a collection of everything. That's what the 32 means, a collection of everything. You look at all the nature of two, all your partnerships and arrangements and agreements that you have with everybody, and your ability to look at details, okay? And then you look at the number 30, which is your ability to go deep into yourself in terms of meditating. In order to do that, you have to have some level of discipline, self-discipline, with yourself in order to do that. If we look at it as the number 23, 20 is transformation. But how do you transform? You transform by working on your emotions. You transform by getting together that moment of self-discipline with yourself so you can get more focus. Therefore, you can express yourself better. You know, sometimes the nature of that 3 means the ability, and the talent, and the skill, as well as a gift, to express yourself through the written word or the spoken word. The written or the spoken. Now 3 is an energy number of actors and actresses, so you might be able to do it in a very dramatic and theatrical way. Maybe by the presentation, where you present yourself, the clothes that you have on, colors that you wear, the style of the clothes, or just total animation, talking with your hands. I'm a person that talks with his hands. I like to have some movement going on. I never really talk that much with my hands in my pocket or my hands behind my back. I'm very animated. So, but everybody has to find that zone for themselves. And this is highly important, finding the zone for you. And when you can find your zone for yourself, then you're able to best work on you. No one knows you better than yourself. No one knows you better than yourself. So we look at that number 23. We have the 2, which is partnerships, arrangements, agreements, looking at details, learning not to be so cold-hearted, learning not to be so petty-minded in our thinking, but learning how to expand our awareness and our consciousness to include others. The nature of the 3 is also childlike, the energy of children, the energy of being youthful, being expansive with our energy, the ability to reach out. 3 is also self-expression. Well, you got the arts, the fine arts, you've got music, you got martial arts, you got acting, you got film producing, right? Taking acting lessons, singing lessons, playing musical instruments, composing and arranging music, maybe being a choreographer or a craftsperson. You like doing sculpture or painting, making and creating vases and sculptures, knitting. There's all kind of ways, so that usually somebody born on the nature of that 23 vibration has some of those qualities. Either they're very articulate with words, they're very good spokespersons, they're very good writers also. 23s produce a lot of good writers. Okay, but these are the people that 9 times out of 10 have a lot of difficulties that they go through in their life, especially in their childhood or in their teenage years. And then if they're able to stay in steadfast and find their mentors, find older people than themselves who've gone through similar situations that have come out in positive light, then that assists them as well. And they sooner or later graduate. And sometimes they graduate very, very early. I find that some of the 23s are born under Leos, July 23rd. So they go through life very early with a lot of things, a lot of challenges. But if they have good soil around them, meaning good parents around them, and other adults around them, and good positive siblings around them, they sprout up. They find themselves and they grow straight up. And they expand at the same time. So this is something to be considered. You know, there's February 23rd, the Piscean 23. And I've seen a lot of them, and they're usually very good with music. They're also very good with the business of music or the business of art. So they know and they understand, because they're already in that, coming out of that Aquarian vibration, dealing with all kinds of people, sometimes all kind of funky situations in business. Usually they pan, they stick to it, and they come out on top in the end. They never really melt away in the background. They usually come out on top. Then you've got the January 23rd Aquarian. And how's that? That January 23rd Aquarian is pretty deep too. Because that's someone that's really gets out. They're in the beginning, in the early stages of a sign of Aquarius. They're getting out and they're mixing and mingle. They could be single people looking for a relationship, or single people just looking to connect with people all over the world. And they usually do that quite well. So that's some just examples of people born on the 23rd. You know, people born on the 23rd are very strong-willed individuals, and they're able to adapt to different life events and different personalities around them all the time. Same with a Scorpio 23. The Scorpio 23 person, they don't have a problem communicating their ideas, their thoughts, and their feelings to other people, because they're coming up out of that Libra vibration and stepping into Scorpio. So they have a very strong connection. So we see here that the 23, if you happen to be born on the 23rd of any month, you will usually at some point become highly successful in your life. Okay, so let me have a little sip of water. I know it says hot chocolate on there, but it's a favorite drinking mug right now. So let's talk about here, as I say, I'm like flying by the seat of the soul today. I've done a lot of meditation and my walking, and I wanted to know what the soul wanted to share with all of you. And for those of you who are watching, tuning in right now, and you happen to be listening, from your side, if you're not hearing my voice loud enough, you can always go into your own computer in your own audio section and just turn your volume up. I'm about halfway, and I happen to be a person that speaks loud, you know, so you might want to maybe turn it down a notch, okay, if it's too loud for you. All right. Now, as I said, sometimes, you know, the seat of the soul, information is there, treasures come up. And you know, when this show is off the air later, I'm going to archive it, a copy of it, to my Circle of Grace 1 channel over at YouTube, where you can just watch it all the time. But I'm just hearing, since I started off with numerology, I just heard some things just to drop out to you symbolically. So let's walk down the alphabet. Let's pick a few letters in the alphabet. Spirit we may go through all 26, who knows. But Spirit says, take a look at this. Now, we're using just the letters of the alphabet. And if you want to utilize this information, the way you would want to utilize the information is with first names only, okay? First names only. Not the last letter in the name, the very first letter in the name. Well, let's start with the letter A. A as in apple, A as in Andrew, A as in Aaron, A as in Alan, Alan with the two A's, Alan with the A and the E. Or Andrea, or Andrea as some pronounce it, or Adrian, or Adriana. Well, that letter A, you can look at it in a symbolic way. It looks like a pyramid with a step going across. Well, you know, if you extended the 2 points and made them connect together, you would have a alchemical symbol of a triangle pointing upward, which is the element of fire. And if you put that little bar going across and extended it on both sides, you would have the alchemical symbol for air. So when you have fire and air together, it's kind of like a mixture of the intuitive nature and the mental nature. So people who have the letter A as the very first letter of their name, they are individuals who could think clearly and can be very emotional at the same time. They have a strong sense of feeling. They have a strong sense, meaning direction. They kind of know where their feelings are moving. And when people are in communication with them, either verbally or just body language, they could sense, those with the letter A can sense where energy or the thought of an energy is flowing within the person that they're communicating with. Now here's something else. Think of the letter A as a composite of all the other elements, not only just the air and the fire, but if we took that letter A and inverted it, without the bar you have the V, right? If you connect the 2 points, you would have the alchemical symbol, excuse me, with the point pointing downward for water. And if you put that bar in there and extend it on both sides, you have the alchemical symbol for earth. So the letter A happens to encompass all 4 elements. That's right, it encompasses all 4 elements. A's can be practical in their thinking and down to earth. They can be highly creative and emotionally sensitive individuals like an empath. They can be very analytical when they need to. That's air. The empath nature, that's water. The creative energy, that's water. The psychic energy, that's water. And then that fire energy. They have high what? High aspirations. They're always reaching up. When the triangle's inverted, there's inspiration, energy coming in. Spirit coming in, spirit going out. So, here's a little key point for anyone watching this show now or later who your first name starts with the letter A. What you might want to look at this year is how you connected with people through the 4 elements. Were you mainly being very analytical in conversation? When you were out doing a chore for yourself, or you were working on a particular project with others, were you being very practical minded? Were you being expansive in your consciousness? Because the A has that point going up like the fire symbol, so that fire can be expansive. It can be aggressive too at the same time. So were you asserting yourself in order to go out and get something accomplished? Were you a team leader, a team organizer? Were you the foundation of the team? These are the things to be considered with the letter A. Maybe one of the things you might want to do next year is, and this is with all letters, all names, is to clarify your direction. And how can you clarify your direction? By simply going within. If you allow yourself to go within you, and go in deep in your heart and start to feel your energy, start to sense your energy. Because when you get on the inside of yourself, and this is for everybody, not just the letter A, but you can, get on the inside of yourself, you allow yourself to grow. See, all the seeds of consciousness are on the inside, have been already planted. All the seeds of consciousness, all your seed thoughts, seed feelings, and sensitivities are embedded on the inside. And so that's the purpose of meditation. Meditation is allowing yourself to go on the inside and let the walls, the external shell of you melt away. So you can get in touch with that energy, the raw energy of spirit. And when we say the raw energy of spirit, it's not really raw like rough, because if you think it's rough, then it becomes rough. If you feel it's smooth, then it shall be smooth for you. Again, it's what you intend it to be. Another thing, let's jump to the letter E. Here's a word, expectations. Many times we have a lot of expectations. We expect everybody to treat us well, expect everybody to make us number one in their lives, expect everybody to include us in their lives. Or sometimes you're trying to meet with somebody and you're expecting them to be on time and they aren't. Well, sometimes expectations don't always work. But if you're on the inside of yourself and you know who you are, then you keep your focus on the inside. Therefore, because sometimes expectations go into assumptions, goes into worries and anxieties. And so you want to refrain from that. You want to refrain from worry and anxiety and expecting and assuming. You want to stay in the moment. As much as you can, stay in the moment. So I said I wanted to touch at the letter E. Well, E is the energy that expresses outwardness, to go out, See, the letter A is going up and coming down, going in, and letter E is issuing energy, going out. But E can go in too, because what is E? E is memory, your conscious memory. Now we got the unconscious, we got the subconscious, the conscious, and as some of the Freud and Jung used to say, super consciousness. Okay, so you got all these different stages if you want, but it's all coming out of the energy of spirit, because all life is spirit, all life is energy. So the nature of E moves. Think of E like electricity. Electrical impulses. The brain releases electrical impulses throughout the body, throughout the nervous system. Think of E bringing you a wavelength. That's something that's continuous. Energy. Energy in motion. E is energy. That's in motion. There's energy that appears or seems to, stand still. Overall, from a distance, it looks like it's standing still until we get up on top of it and we realize it's pulsating. So we want to pay attention to the energy that we all are a part of, that divine source. And that divine source is all around us. Martial arts, they call it Ki, K-I, Chi, C-H-I, or that's the more Romanized, Anglo-Saxon interpretation, but in China it's Qi, Q-I, like a quotient or a question. Q, Chi, Ki, what's the other? Prana. From the East Indian side, prana, P-R-A-N-A. It's life force energy. That's what it is. And we all are born with a certain amount of life force energy within our soul consciousness, and a life force energy inherited from our parents. And where's that energy? That energy is usually stored in your adrenals and your kidney region in your body. That's sort of like that. So here we have energy that's flowing. That's flowing and moving with us at all times. The chi, the ki, the prana. There's prana in the earth. Mother Gaia has prana running through the earth, running through the surface of the earth. We see it in plants popping up out of the ground, trees popping up out of the ground. We see the animal kingdom and the birds in the air, and the ants and the snakes, everything. We're on earth too, moving in that pranic energy, in that pranic belt, that chi belt of energy. And the universe outside of it, outside of the stratosphere and ionosphere and all of that, has energy too flowing throughout it. And the whole key is not to use up your personal energy, but to plug into it, plug into the universal sources of energy that are around you. And there are many ways in which to do that, and that's why I wanted to talk about this tonight, trying to give you some preliminary information so that you can tap in to this meditation I want to share with you. I may have to read bits and pieces of it, but I'm going to give it to you just the same. Now, here's another letter. The E is the 5th letter in the alphabet. There's that 5 again. So that's energy, expansive energy, youthfulness, the ability to adapt, to adjust, to communicate, to kind of, if you're like a salesperson, the nature of the 5 makes a good marketing promotion person, salesperson, person in radio and TV, journalist, nature of the 5, or travel expert. 5. Let me back up. Letter D. I'm hearing about the letter D. Now, letter E was for who? People like Edward. People shorten it to Eddie. Eileen. Starting with the E. Ellen with the E. That's the letter E. And all that information about the E. Conscious memory. Moving consciously forward and moving swiftly. Here's another E. Everett. Edgar. All these E's. People moving quickly with their mind, and they have a good memory. So many of you parents, you might have children with the letter E. You tell them something, it's not that they forget. They're absorbing a lot of information. They're adjusting, adapting to a lot of information going on around themselves. So their thing is which part of the information that they heard was the most important that they could utilize. So that's the letter E. Now let's say you got the letter D. Well, D is very unique, you see. What are you looking at with the D? You see, this is the capital letter now. A pole and then a curved line. Like the letter C in reverse. Makes up capital D. Now in the Kabbalistic form, the D was Daleth. D-A-L-E-T-H. And on the tree of life, Daleth is right here. It was known as the Great Abyss on the tree of life, the hidden circle, the hidden power circle. Was your voice, your ability to speak a word, to speak what? Seed thoughts into existence for yourself, to plant your seeds. Speak your mind, as we say. Speak your heart. That's what the letter D is about. D is like a doorway. And what do you do with a doorway? You open it to go out of a room or go out of a space into what? Another space. So it's an entryway. It's the gate of the entryway. It's the door that closes the entrance, right? You can open it up, take a look outside, or close it. D is doorway. And now it depends on how that door is. Is that a weak door or a strong door? A weak door, a light door, a heavy door, a metal door, a wooden door. D. So when you see somebody first name D, that person, because the nature of D is a 4, can have a very strong will, can have a very dominant will. They know exactly where they're going in most cases. And sometimes if you're in a good D debate with them, they could play the opposing side. Okay, so they can really argue a point across. Well, think of how many people you know. Davids, Donalds, Deborahs, Debbies, Darlenes, Dorias. See? Letter D. So they have a very strong root within themselves. Daryl. See, very strong. So I'm quite sure you know people with the letter D. These are the people, if they are the hard workers, they can open doors for other people. Because D knows everybody. D is like a guardian at the door. So they know what's on the other side. They're familiar what's behind the door. And they're familiar with the energy coming to the door. So D's are hard-working people. Think of D for being diligent, on due course, or always ready to be the doer. So they action-oriented D's. They're just not sitting around. They're action-oriented. But often, they're geniuses. You may not know what's going on inside their head, but they do. Let's look at the letter C. Think of the letter C. Well, you see the shape of it. It's like a part of a circle, depending on how you draw the C. It's like half of a circle, or it's 3/4 of a circle, depending on how you draw it. Right? Takes up a lot of circumference, a lot of space. Think of the letter C as the ability to capture something, to capture information, to be very creative. That's people like Charles, Connie, Conway, Conrad. See, C is like the ability to attract people into their lives. C, people. C, the letter C, the people with the first letter, they are very magnetic. They are very creative people. They have very strong wills as well. And they usually can depend upon themselves. If no one else is going to do anything, you have to worry. If you're with somebody with the first letter C, they're going to work at getting the job done. And they find creative ways, constructive ways to get the job done. Letter C. You might think of like a cup or a chalice when you see the letter C, or a horseshoe magnet like the letter C. So they can draw things to themselves. C, people with the letter C love excitement. You might find them to themselves, but they're working toward being out, socializing. That's the nature of people with the letter C in their name. So it's very important. And they get very, very excited too. Again, they like to be around a lot of people. So when you see that letter C, really be aware that they enjoy life. People with the letter C enjoy life. They also are attracted to comedic situations. They can get involved in the radio and TV industry, film industry. So they like tragedies, they like fictions, non-fiction, documentaries, sports. They can follow a lot of different genres, and they can get a lot of information out of those things at the same time. So think of C as upbeat personalities. Letter C. Now, what about the letter B? Well, you got B for Barbara, Betty, Betsy, Brianna, see, Brittany. That name Brittany has been spelled a whole lot of ways. Some without an A in it, some with an A in it. Some without the Y but an I at the end. Then there's Bert, which is like almost short of Robert. The letter B. What is the letter B? The letter B is connected to, I like to think of it like a birch tree. If you live out on the East Coast, you see birch trees. They're gray or white bark trees. But B is birthing process. The letter B. So think of the letter O opened up, so you got two hoops or two rings, like you want to think of like what the police people use, handcuffs, two C's, and then the bar. So there's a part of them that goes straight up, right, perpendicular, and they're creative, mentally and emotionally, spiritually and mentally, and emotionally and physically. So they encapsulate the energies of fire, air, and water and earth, just like the letter A. They can deal with a duality consciousness and make it one within themselves. Very unique. Those with the letter B are all about birthing an idea. Those with the letter B. Birthing an idea. Now, it could be renovating an idea, taking an old idea and expanding upon it, or coming up with something brand new. Letter B. So if you're in communication with people with the letter B, you have a sibling or you have a child in your house with the letter B, that child or that sibling is very good at putting together ideas. And they're like the farmers. They're going to cultivate the idea. They're going to pair it. They're going to take very good care of the seed that they plant into the earth. They're going to watch over it. It's all about growth. They're about generating ideas, and as well as regenerating ideas. This is the nature of the personality of a person with the letter B. That's the first name. So, what we covered, numbers that fast, 1 through 5. A, B, C, D, and E. A, B, C, D, and E. Well, I'm quite sure someone might be tuning in and say, what about the letter M? Where M is like D, it's a 4. But think of the sound, M. M, it's like a mothering sound. That's one of the things you want to be aware of. People with the first letter in their name that starts with an M, they can be mothering, parental, like a guardian, and very protective. Have you seen it in nature? The mother bear protecting the cubs, the mother lion protecting the cubs, mother birds protecting the birds, nests, protective, nurturing. So when you see that letter M, M is a mothering quality, as in Mother Gaia, goddess energy. Nature of the M is like a goddess energy. So you can connect now the M with the D. The M with the D. Because the D is a doorway. And mother's womb is a doorway, what? To the universe. And to earth. Mother encapsulates the womb. So it's another thing. Look at the M, capital M, and reverse it, W. Mother encompasses it all. Well, people say, okay, well, name me some names that start with M. Margaret, Marjorie, Mary, Maria, Madeline. These are individuals who carry a strong sense of nature and the electromagnetic qualities of nature and how nature works. What about Michael? Same. Michael, very strong. Strong personality, yet mothering. But a strong sense of self. And letters like M-A and M-E, see, are strong. Muriel is even strong. M-U. So think of all of these names, all of these letters. All of these letters and as they come about. Now, I'm just following the energy of soul tonight. What is the energy of soul saying here? It's throwing out a name, first name. Someone whose name is Ann, A-N-N, as well as A-N-N-E. Using numerology, you got 3 5s and a 1, which is 16, which is a 7. So Ann, A-N-N-E, you are very much connected to the self, your dreams. You're passionate about dreams. You're passionate about visions. And you go deep in your meditation. And if you're just A-N-N, that's 2 5s, 10 and A1, that's 11. You have that mastery quality too, to go deep into dreams. But an Ann, as A-N-N, you'd have to be more aware of who your friends are around you. You have to pay close attention to who's around you in your circles. And if you're A-N-N-E, not only are you paying attention to who's in your immediate circle, but who's on the outside, who's on the perimeter. So both Anns have similar qualities. Both Anns have similar qualities. What if you have a name like Ann inside of another name, like Joanne? Well, that means there's a part of you, as a Joe, J-O, there's a part of you that's drawn to what? You're drawn to what's going on the outside. You're able to hook yourself into what's happening around on the outside of you. That's the letter J. Even reverses like a cane. You're here to give support, Joanne. You're here to give support. And the O, think of the O like a globe. So you're here to give support to the world. And yet, as you do that, you want to pay attention to who's in your immediate circle. And if you got Joanne, not only who's in your immediate circle, but who's on the perimeter of it. Just a little information from the seat of the soul. Well, we're in the 42 minutes of this program. Let me share with you this Creative Pathwork meditation on tree energy. And this is from my Volume 3, Issue number 8, earlier this year of July the 1st, 2013, of Two Bears, a double dose of spiritual remembrance and divine grace. And what was very unique about this, we see trees in our neighborhood all the time. Now, depending on where you live, if you're way out on the West Coast or you're way over the East Coast, you may see a lot of trees, maybe in the Central Park. United States. You may see a lot of evergreen trees around in your area. Out here, I've seen some of the cypress trees, like as if they were transplanted out here in the Southwest. Because, you know, some of these trees that are like sitting here are normally not here, like someone brought them in and planted them. So when people do that, sometimes they use the trees to catch the shade from the sun coming onto their homes. Some people like that. You know, they want to catch that shade. Other people don't mind, you know. Well, trees. I want you to go into your memory bank, consciousness of yourself, where you have experienced the vibration of trees. In other words, you've seen trees, numerous trees. So if you're out here on the Southwest, in Albuquerque, I met a lot of people here that are from back east, New Jersey and New York and Long Island, and, Delaware and Baltimore, Maryland and Florida and Georgia, Carolinas, all the way up into Vermont, Pennsylvania, Maine. You've seen trees, a lot of trees, all kinds of trees. So it doesn't matter if the trees have big leaves on them like an oak tree. It doesn't matter if they're a magnolia tree. It doesn't matter if the tree is a maple tree or an apple tree or a part of the evergreen trees. Doesn't matter. Just whatever comes to mind we're going to use. And as you draw on this, place your tongue to the roof of your mouth just behind your two front teeth. You're going to make that connection, right, between the energy traveling up the back, coming over the center line, up the back, traveling over the center line and hooking back down. Uniting those energies, like your spinal energy and the sternum energy, but they're connected. We want to keep that energy of chi flowing. As you do this, I want you to breathe deeply. Inhale through the nose and let some of the air out through your mouth a few times, 3 or 4, maybe 5 times. If you can, the rhythm is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's like a second, a count. Each count is like a second. You can move it much slower than that. Find a rhythm of breathing that is essentially good for yourself. Now as you do that, place all of your awareness into the heart center, heart chakra range. That's the base of your throat to where your sternum is, the tip of your sternum, right in the center. It's even with your physical heart. So relax into that space. And as you do all your breathing through your nose without pausing. You don't have to hold your breath at the top of the inhalation or at the bottom of the exhalation. Just breathe. If you can, do the breathing through the nose. And as you do this, as you flow with this rhythm, let all the images of trees come to mind. It's coming up out of you. All the feelings coming up. And all this energy is bringing itself forward, coming up out of you, generating what? Deep out of your subconscious, of your experience of trees. You might see yourself in memory looking up at how tall a tree is and all the solar light energy coming through the leaves, right? Coming through the spaces between all the branches. You might feel a dampness in the forest. You might feel the warmth in the forest. All of these memory parts coming up, just allow them to come up and flow through you. It's all energy. It's all energy that you have experienced. Now as you do this, I want you to begin to take on the concept that this tree energy is a living being. It's being generated by divine source. It's being generated by divine source. And at the same time, it's being generated by your energy, your spirit. is being generated by your energy, your spirit, the energy of the tree. Remember, prana, chi, and ki energy is in everything. It's coming up out of the earth. And what are you going to do? You're now going to connect with that source of energy. So, if you could feel the presence of tree energy around you, and as you tune into it, you'll feel a tingling sensation. Your whole body has memory, by the way. It could feel all of the energy. I'm seeing a tree or several trees when I go outdoors and do my Tai Chi. I feel the presence of the trees in the community park responding, like they're saying hello to me. I'm tuning into them. And the whole body, how it generates that electrical impulse, that chi, coming up out of the earth, flowing through the trees, and I'm playing with that energy. I want you to do the same. Play with that energy. Inhale upon that energy. Right now, just feel it. Inhale it. And release it. Let it go. See this tree, this essence of this living being, the presence of this energy of spirit, the divine source in the tree, flowing through the tree, expressing through the tree as divine consciousness. There's a divine intelligence all to itself, flowing, waiting for you to communicate with it. So now let yourself communicate with the energy, because you can feel the energy. If in your consciousness, deep in yourself, you feel the memory of a tree, touching the tree, smelling the tree, seeing the life forms in the tree, whether it's an ant, whether it's a bird in the tree, feeling it. Feel your legs and your feet as the root of the tree. Feel your pelvis as the part of the trunk going right into the earth. Feel that. Sense it. This tree is not outside of you. It's on the inside of you. You ever heard of the tree of life, being inside your own tree of life? Well, you're in it now. You're inside that tree of life energy upon the earth, in the universe, around it. You're feeling it. It's around you. You're enlivening your own tree of life energy. You're inside the tree. Your consciousness is inside the tree. The fascia between the muscle area and the skin is like the fiber between the bark and the first layer of the tree. Same energy. That's why you see the rings, the different levels of fascia there. Chi energy flowing through the tree. In fact, that's where you see the sap flowing through the tree. Sap of the tree is the blood of the tree, the life of the tree. Where the energy is on the inside. Take this in there. Your legs are like the roots, and now your pelvis is on top of the earth. It's taking it all in now. And it's coming up, right? You should be able to feel a tingling sensation. Your body is what? Communicating with the earth. The base of that tree, going into the ground, is where your waist, your pelvis energy is going. The rest of the tree, not including the branches, is the trunk. Where's the mind and the heart? On the inside. And the branches are like your arms. And then the little branches off the big branch are your fingers. Take it all in. Really feel the energy of the earth flowing up into the soles of your feet, almost tickling the soles of your feet, moving around your toes and the edge of outer edge and the instep and the heel, the ball of your foot, the base of the foot, massaging, the energy just flowing through. You can feel it. It might move through you in such a way that it has you tapping. It has me tapping right now. I have one foot rested on my computer chair, and my left toe is tapping on the ground. I feel the rhythm. Steady rhythm. That's why my hands are in motion. I feel the rhythm flowing. It's flowing. It's flowing. Allow yourself now to play with this energy, enjoy this energy, and connect with this energy. As you feel it in your feet, I want you to inhale Feel it up around your ankles, on top of your feet and ankles. Feel it. Feel it. Inhale again. Feel it going right up into the calves, right? And the shins. Exhale, let it expand in there. Back down. And playfully come back up. And as it bounces back up through your calves and shins, inhale on it and bring it into your knees. Just chief, just feel it. This is the etheric value of it, but yet it's working. Because if your body is responding, tingling sensation, it's happening. Exhale through it. Inhale through your knees. Bring it into your thighs. Muscles in your thighs. Just inhale. Feel the energy move through all the muscle fibers, nerve endings. Feel it into the pelvis. Now what we want to do is, before we move the energy any further than that, this is unique. I want you to capture this energy. I want you to think, and this is what it is, the bone marrow is like a sponge. We're going to bring this chi that's flowing in the muscles, flowing in the fiber of the skin. We want to embed it deeper. So start thinking about your skeletal structure now in your pelvis area. Start thinking about it. Tapping into it. Seeing the bones. They're not going to be brittle. If you keep doing this, they'll get more supple with time. Because you got time on your side. Timeless. Feel it go into tingling along the edge of the bone and then seeping in right into the bone marrow. Big bone in your thigh. Going into the kneecap. Wow, going into the bone. Just feel it. Just take off. Bones in the lower part of your legs. Right into your ankles. Right into your feet and the toes. Just feel it. And even if you're in your toes, you might notice there's some tingling going on in your hands, like foot reflexology and hand reflexology. They go together, so you're feeling it both. So now, swoop this energy up with one big inhalation, bringing it past the pelvis, and letting it expand itself into your torso, from the lower part of your back to the second chakra, front and back and sides, right around your waist and beneath your navel and through your navel. Let it come on up and bless everything. Let it bless your bladder and your gallbladder. Let it bless your kidneys and your adrenals. Let it bless your liver and your pancreas. Let it bless your stomach and your liver, right? And your esophagus. Let it come on up and dance around your spine. 33 vertebrae, so let it dance. Let the chi climb like a stepladder. Like a ladder. Let the chi be a person climbing and caressing. Your spine is like the trunk of the tree. Let it caress it. See a miniature you in any form, a being of light moving and caressing, making you stronger, manipulating the chi internally. Now, I'm not doing this just to be doing this. I'm feeling it from the inside, gathering and sharing, gathering and sharing, gathering and sharing. Just feel that chi circulating. Think of your spine like a spiral staircase. It's coming up. Two of them overlapping each other at certain intervals, coming all the way up like the staff of Caduceus. Let it come all the way up now, through your neck. Let it branch out into your shoulders, all the way down your arms, into your fingertips. Unite your hands and the soles of your feet together, your toes and your fingers together, all zones connecting together, and then let it dance around the neck and sternum, and now let it go gradually up as if someone was behind the back of your head doing a cranial exercise with your head and just manipulating, turning your head slowly, going back and down, just manipulating the chi just flowing up. Take your hands as chi moving back and forth. You put your head in there between, you're going to feel like you're pulling something back. You're going to feel it, pulling something back and forth. You can put it, the line of force going through your cheeks. Feel it through your neck. You can feel it through your ears. You can feel it. You can feel that tingling sensation. You move it all the way up, you can feel it, right? Coming over the top. Now, let that energy go up. Come down the front. Go all the way down underneath the pelvis and come back up. Let that energy, that cord of energy, work. Let's put out a second signal for another flow of energy to come up higher. And encase your entire body, going underneath the soles of your feet and over the top of your head. Put your arm out to the side, just feel it, like you're in a big huge glove, from your fingertips up to your shoulder, both sides. Feel it. Flow with it and relax with it. This is the tree energy. This is the tree energy. You can connect with your root chakra, your second chakra, your solar chakra, the heart in front, the back, base of the throat, back, the brow center, right in the center, base of your skull, temples, right and left temples, the crown and the top of your head, and the center hairline. Connect. Now, as you connect with this energy, think of the center of your palms. These are the heart points in your palms. And this heart point is in touch with the trunk of the tree, the heart energy of the tree. And think of the branches as the different levels of divine consciousness. It's all encompassing. It's you. Just feel that connection. Make that connection. Be that connection. Be that circuitry of energy. Now, this is a good time to speak into the universe. Trees are like antennas. Speak into the universe through the tree energy and through your own tree of life around yourself. Speak into the energy. Begin to talk to the energy. That's right. Have a conversation. Like the person wrote the book, The Conversation with the Creator. I didn't use the exact title. But now, you're talking with creation that's around you. Creation that's inside of you. You're having a communication with it. No doubt. You're not going to doubt anything. You're going to connect fully with the energy. Fully. Have a communication now. Hear yourself talking to the master cells in your body. Hear yourself talking to the master cells of the tree energy. Hear yourself talking to the master cell in Mother Gaia. Hear yourself talking with the master cell of the planetary system and the constellation. Hear yourself talking. And hear what? The energy coming back to you. Feeling your thoughts. Feeling your feelings and sensitivities. Feeling it. Getting in touch with it. Bathing in it. Let yourself. And what you want to do as you do this, if you choose to do this again, don't rush through it. Just like when you step inside of a jacuzzi or step inside of a garden bathtub or step inside of a pool, you're getting adjusted to the temperature, getting adjusted, acclimating your body to the temperature of the energy, feeling it. Then you sit all the way in it. Sit, be consumed by it. Soaking in the energy. That's what you want to do with the tree energy. Become like a tree. Even when you stand with your feet about shoulder width apart. Its most narrowest point is measuring from the outer edge, connecting underneath the armpit, or the inner edge, connecting on the outer side of your shoulders. Just allow the rooting and the centering to begin with you. Allow yourself to connect deeply into that consciousness. Just feel it. Going back, to the center of your palms, center of the palms where you can place your thumb, tip of your thumb, that's the center of your palm. You can connect that heart fire energy with your brow center. You can tune into your third eye and connect. You can tune into the base of your skull and connect. You can tune into the crown and connect. You can tune into the center hair point line and connect. The top of your head and connect. And sigh into it. Sigh, enjoy it. Solar plexus, navel, thymus, heart, lungs, kidneys, adrenals, big and small intestines. You can connect. I wanted to share that with you. This was a variation of the tree energy exercise. Next time you're outdoors, embrace a tree. Touch a tree. Get within the ring of energy of the tree. Put both hands out and kind of walk gradually toward the tree and see if you can feel its auric field. And if it's not out all the way, you might be able to help that tree. By what? Moving the chi, bringing it up, linking your personal energy with the universal energy, and then getting in touch with that tree energy. And when you allow yourself to do that, then you're allowing yourself to have a dance with life. There was a book I wrote a long time ago, and I really didn't put it out on the market. I put out about, it was a self-printed, I put out about, I think, over 500 copies. 3 of them I gave away as gifts, literally, to people. But it was called Dancing in the Light of Divine Grace. Well, allow yourself to dance in the light of divine grace. The beauty and the harmony of divine grace. We all are striving. We all are remembering. The angel of grace says, we are what? Alive and well in the age of remembrance. And divine grace is the blessing. It is the key that helps us. And one of the most important things is we are all striving for what we might call perfect health. In order to get there, we have to release. We got to get rid of things inside ourselves. That's what they call detoxing. Why? Because we got a lot of toxic matter. It has to get out one way or the other. Well, what's one way or the other? Well, you don't want it to go out in the other way, where you're, as we used to say, sick as a dog. So sick. Yeah. You want to release it over a period of time out of your systems where you have control. Getting all of those heavy metals, you name it, things out of your system. Excessive sugar, excessive yeast. A certain amount of yeast is good for the body, but when you have it, it goes into candidias and it gets worse. Then it gets worse, right? We get the pot belly we don't need. We start having heavy legs, the weight of the legs, we get headaches. All that stuff is going on. But I'm not professing to be a doctor here or a holistic doctor. I'm just sharing some insight. Well, we've been on a little over a little over an hour and 6 minutes. I said that we would take this at least 90 minutes, but it's not that I'm tiring, but I just wanted to reach out and bring this information. Another thing, before we sign off, the Spirit says, share. I don't really get a chance to do it too much, but start collecting some gemstones. This is, I have a lot of them around here in the home. This is selenite. And man, selenite, this is a rough form of selenite. I like it rough and I like it smooth. Selenite. This is really connects with the angelic forces in the universe, connects with the nature vibrations called nature spirits. And I got a lot of crystals on my hands here. You probably can't see it. But yeah, there you go. See the little particles? That's all selenite. It releases it. I got a lot of it here. You put it on the clothes there. But it's like it gives up a lot of vibrations. Little particles like that is like seeds. It is allowing you to connect. So I want you to remember that you are connected to everything, to every part of the universe. You're not disconnected. It's like people out here call one of the phrases for being here in New Mexico is the land of enchantment. I like to call it the land of infinite possibilities. Because just about anything can happen. And some people have experienced sometimes what they call negatives. We all have. But I know one thing for sure. There's a lot of positive energy out here in different forms. And I always strive to plug into as much as I can. Well, Circle Grace One was founded on July 2nd, 1999 AD under the aegis and the anointing of the Angel of Grace through Divine Providence. It gave birth to its very own spiritual and metaphysical institute on February the 7th, 2009, called the Circle of Divine Grace and Remembrance. It's a 5-leveled, 5-tiered level of work. Sometimes it takes about 2 years to complete, 3 years, 5 years to complete, depending on the personalities, the people that want the information. And I'm teaching it now in different ways. I'm not even really going through all the levels in order. The 5th level is mentoring masters. So there's a lot of people that are already mastering things, and I'm here to help mentor you, help you get there. Well, I am Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I'm the bishop and the founder, chief principal teacher, and the host for my Circle Grace One. My Circle Grace One is a spiritual and metaphysical ministry, and with its own institute, I like to bring them together as the Circle of Grace One. Circle of Grace One is the circle of divine grace and remembrance. It's here to help you remember who you really are, who you truly are. And as the Angel of Grace always says, divine grace is a blessing. Remember, let me give it to you fully. Remember that divine grace is a blessing as we are alive and well in the age of remembrance. Well, I hope to be back here next Monday, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, live, sharing the teachings of the Circle of Grace One, as well as the Circle of Divine Grace and Remembrance. Right here at ustream.tv/channel, CHANNEL, another /circle-grace, Circle of Grace One. Circle-of-grace-1. And that's my channel. Or you can just type in www.ustream.tv in your browser, and when the page comes up, home page, look for the search bar and type in circle, capital C, circle of capital grace, GRACE with a number 1 at the end, Circle of Grace 1, and it'll bring you to my channel. And if you have your own channel, we can follow each other. In any regards, for those of you who are celebrating Christmas coming up in a few days, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. For those of you who celebrate Kwanzaa, Happy Kwanzaa. For those of you that are in other faiths, may you be happy and well. And those of you following the element of spirit, may you be generous and blessed. So I want to close out with a prayer. Through divine power and by divine grace, may all of you be blessed this year, the closing of this year, and blessed going into next year. May you take every day like it's your birthday. May you take every day and celebrate it. Celebrate someone else who needs to be celebrated. Celebrate your seniors, your elders. Celebrate your fur family. Celebrate children. Celebrate teens, young adults. Celebrate women. This is the goddess energy. Celebrate them. Honor them. Remember them. Celebrate grandparents. Celebrate people who are not connected to family. Share your unconditional love. Bless others, seed others. There's a new way of mentoring that's going on, and I've been doing it for quite some time. I'm seeding into your life with information. I'm seeding into your life with unconditional love. I'm seeding into your life with divine grace blessings for you. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance, and I'm looking forward to be back here next Monday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's under PM. See you next time. Thank you for watching, and I love you too, unconditionally.